All right, hello everyone. Tonight is another live stream. I will be doing another very exciting Houdini challenge tonight, and I'm still lagging a bit behind. But today I'm working on Houdini Challenge 25, which is the title is underground. So I was thinking first of doing like a cave or something like that. But today I thought a bit more, and I will be probably doing some kind of underground station. Like I was once in Germany, there was like a little tunnel they digged up to connect the harbor and the mainland. So I'll be trying to recreate that, and I'll be showing you a bit of an overview in a little bit. And I can quickly show you my previous things I did. So these are for my favorites, at least, which I picked. So these are different challenge topics, and yeah, so I think my most like favorite one is this little birdie here, which is obviously from the Pixar short film For the Birds. But I had so much fun doing this using VDBs and all that. And then obviously I have a few more. This is some flip sim, and this is yesterday's one, which is some kind of amber little golden nugget where there's like this test squab inside it. And then I have a few more, and I like all of these. And tonight we will be working on the underground tunnel. All right, but before we jump into that, I first of all want to say if you want to get better at effects, and if you want to learn Houdini a lot more, I have professional courses for you, which you should be checking out, and they are from Rebelway, and they do really high-end stuff. Let me just pull out the video, and we just have a quick look on that, and then we get going here. So check it out, they do have amazing stuff. So yeah, as you can see, they do very high-end production quality assets and tutorials, and they offer like courses, which is really great. And you will find the link in the description below of the video, so be sure to check it out. And I will also be pasting a few links which will bring you directly to their pages. It's pretty cool stuff. You can I don't know, like check it out. There's lots of free stuff as well, and I will be linking another page here. So be sure to check it out, especially if you want to dive into Houdini and just get better at that. All right, so let's see where we at. So as you can see, we do have Houdini open, and I do have my older Houdini open. And this is what I had before. So this is straight out of the render. Let me just close this one down because I think this is done. And let me bring up the reference, which we'll be tackling today. It will be challenging. I haven't done like a fully procedural modeling before yet, so we will be tackling that today. And I hope we will get something looking pretty good here. I'm not sure why I can't move this now. Oh, just like that. So this is what I'm trying to do. So this is, as I said before, this is like a tunnel which connected the mainland to the harbor in northern Germany. And like, I don't know, like a few years ago, we did visit this place, and it's very, very interesting. So I'm trying to recreate that. I love the lighting in it. So there's lots of reflections going on. So it will be challenging to light all this. But I'm hoping you guys will follow along, and obviously as I go, I will find some roadblocks, and I probably will need some help. So this is for you guys and for me to learn, just get better at Houdini, and I will be trying to share the hotkeys and whatever I'm doing here. So this will be, I think, for everyone a nice and entertaining video, and I think we can just get going. Let me just have a quick sip here. And yeah, let's go. So what I did before I went to Wikipedia and looked for some measurements, and it's called the Elb Tunnel. Let me just make this a bit smaller, and let's just type it in here. Elb Tunnel, and it's built in 1911, and then I guess it got refurbished or remodeled or whatever in 75. And the cool thing is we do have some references, we do have measurements. It's 426 meters long, and it's 6 meters in diameter. So they drilled a hole, it's 6 meters wide, and then they filled it in with roads, lights, and ceilings. All right, I think we're ready to go. So on the left, I do have my viewport. On the right, I do have my node editor, like my node window, or how do you call it here? Network view. And I do have my property box on the right. And all of this should not be too unfamiliar. I think it's very similar to all of the other DCCs out there. All right, so let's get going. So I think the first thing what I want to do is just define some kind of curve which gives me the length of the tunnel. And then with that curve, we can do all sorts of things. We can copy lights to it. We can create the road. We can create all those little tiles. So let's just get going. I do work with a Wacom. Sometimes I switch to the mouse, but it always just depends a little bit on my mood, I guess, and how much stuff I have on my desk, essentially. All right. Okay, let's see. And feel free to say hello in the chat. I'm reading the chat, and I will respond to any questions you guys might have. And maybe say where you're watching from. That would be interesting to me, because I think for most of the people right now, most of my viewers are actually from Central, and they are asleep right now. But anyways, the stream will be uploaded afterwards anyway, so everyone can just follow along. And let me quickly check on my Discord here if it actually did pop up. Let's see. Normally I do these kind of announcements. Hey Eric, how's it going? Nice to say hello. And I hope the stream is fine. I'm not sure if there's a lag. I think last time there was a little bit of lag, but I hope it's good. I actually did not check it right now. But we should be fine, I hope. Let me just post it quickly here on the Discord. And you can, if you want to join the Discord as well, it is in the description below. Streaming on YouTube tonight. To join the fun. What is it? Arch 9? I think it's /live, isn't it? Let's just check the link quick. Let's see. Yep, that link is good. Yeah, no lag. Oh, sweet. Thanks for confirming that. All right, let's send it. Spam the people. Spam, spam, spam. It's always good. Obviously in moderation. All right, so any more stuff on Substance Painter? Yes, there will be Substance Painter stuff coming. It's all in the works. I just had to get my mind off a bit. Like that's why the Houdini challenges came in, Houly 25 today, and it's just good for me to just do something different for a bit, and then I'll jump back onto my regular tutorials. So that's why you haven't seen much tutorials on my YouTube right now, more streams, but I think it's a nicer interactive way for you guys to get in touch with me as well, right? Yeah, you got the notification. That's good, because I never knew if these things work. Anyway, so let's get going. So I will be starting off with a line, which is just a simple curve. First of all, we need to create a geometry context, which is essentially like an environment to jump into. Like Houdini has several of these, and the geo one is one of them. So I'll just be creating tunnel, and we'll see how many roadblocks I will be hitting. But this is a tunnel, And I want to create a line which is just a simple curve with some points on it. 2 points. I can visualize the numbers 0 and 1. And I want to put it flat on the ground. So I'm just changing the axis, and I want to have it to go in Z. So it goes into the depth here. And I do want to make it long. So I want to make it real scale so the light will bounce nicely and the shaders will work properly. That's important. If you do want to go photoreal, you do want to do everything in real scale if you can, for sure. So the tunnel is 426 meters. So let's type that in here. You can see now this is a very long tunnel, 426 meters. And hello, KCG. Thank you very much for joining. All right, so, and we don't have any points on it, or we have 2. So let's just create, let's say 100 points. So, or we can do 426, and then we have every meter, we do have 1 single point here, like that. What I want to do, because I know I was there, you can see there is like a little dip in it. And the dip is important. It just gives you more depth when you do the render. It's not just like a perfect straight line. So I just want to do that as well. So I try to do it as procedurally as possible. Always, there's sometimes a few limitations where you have to do some manual stuff, but I will be trying now to do as much procedurally as I can. So what I want to do then is, let's see, I want to move one of these pieces down. So typically you select a vertex and then you just move it down. And I want to do that as well, but I want to use a group instead. So by creating a group, I can have it more in a more procedural manner to select points. I don't need to select a point number. I can create essentially a bounding box around it, which will then select the point for me. So this will be the, let's just call this dip, whatever, dip is fine. And then I just want to create a keep in bounding region, and I do want to create a bounding box. And right now it's 1 unit size, and I just want to move it back, and I probably do want to make it a bit larger. And you can already see if I change my type to points, we should see them being selected. I'm not sure why that does not happen. Let's see. Group name, it should be selecting them. Off to a good start already. There we go. Now these points are selected because they are within that group, right? So I do want to have them a bit further in the back, something around here, and I do want to make the size a bit smaller so we don't select too many points. And you can see that we do have a few points selected. So with that group now, I can use a transform, I can use an edit, which just moves the vertices down. So let's do this. And I do want to make sure that my group is the dip group here. And now I can just move it down, and you can see now these points are being moved down. What I want to do now, I want to have them softer, right? So I can make sure that I'm on points, and then I have the soft radius. And if I increase the soft radius, you can see now that the curve is like really gently moved downwards. And I think that's already quite good. We are going down 3 meters. Let's maybe go 5 meters down, and you can see now we have this nice dip. And I probably do want to make the radius a bit larger as well. Something like that. So we get this nice long slope down and then back up. Probably we do want to shift it a bit back. Let's see. Something like that. Hey Eric, yes, I will be recreating the whole thing. I will not do any texture work, so I will just be doing shading, and I will be placing everything procedurally. And I think it's doable, except probably the arrows. The rest, I think, will be all possible. Obviously, I will not have these, maybe, I'm not sure yet. Maybe I will add the tiles as well. But I will add these boxes, I will add the tiles, I will add the lights. Yeah, and all of this will be done tonight. So that's why we gotta keep going here. And for everyone just joined, I'm on the Houly 25 challenge. A bit late, it's the 29th already, so I gotta get my move on here. All right, so next up is I want to create some kind of road, right? I know that the whole thing is 6 meters in diameter. So what I want to do next is just create a sweep. It's like an extrude thing or whatever. And then I do want to create a ribbon, which is just essentially a flat thing. We can see now it's a bit slanted upwards. It's always a bit hard if you have these large scales to actually zoom in here. There we go. So that's the ribbon. And what I want to do, I want to make it flat, right? So there's a construction where you can change it to be on the y-axis. So now it's flat on the ground. And I do want to make this 6 meters in diameter in width. So this is now my road. You can see already it goes nice. It has this long bend down, which is amazing. We don't want as many points on the length. So we can just go into this sweep and get rid of the columns. So now we just have one single road. And we do have our main line. So what I want to do, create a null just that I know where we're at. And I can just call this main line or baseline or whatever makes sense to you. And then what I want to do, I want to also create a circle, which is because it was essentially a tunnel. So they had like a drill bit which was rotating, similar to what the Boring Company from Elon Musk is doing right now below LA, I think it is. And they also have these big rotating heads and they just create those tunnels. This is essentially the same way, I believe. So what I want to do, create a circle and make sure it's in diameter is 6, so the radius would be 3 meters in radius. There we go. And I do want to have it a polygon, and I do want to have it only 180. So I'm just changing this. Why does this not work? It needs to be open arc. There we go. So now we just have this half round thing, right? All right, so that's great. What I want to do, I want to at some point connect these things, but let's just do it step by step. So I want to copy this tunnel element all over my curve, right? And at some point I would want to connect them. And for this, I can essentially just create a copy to points. And now I want to copy that element over these points. And you can see now we have them spaced 1 meter wide. What we want to do, we probably do want to resample the curve. And resampling just means reduce the point count on it. Right now we have 1 point per meter. And if I resample, we now have 1 point per 0.1 meter. I probably do want to increase this to give me maybe every 3 meters a point. So we have now a lot less points on this. And now I can just say copy the circle to this point. So if I do this and that, you can see now we do have this circle copied all over. You can see now we have this really long tunnel. And I can now have the road. And I can let's just create a null just that we always know where we are at. Let's just call this road. And this is maybe the ceiling. And then I do want to merge them into one like that. And you can see now this is what we get. And at some point we do want to create a mesh. So essentially we would do a skin, I believe it's called. And then you can see now we have this tunnel mesh, which is pretty cool already. And this is fully procedural. That's the beauty of this. So let's say I do want to move this bend somewhere else. I can just create that group and just move it in a different location. You can see the whole thing moves. Or if I want to move it to the right, I can create this kind of bend in it. Let's see, we do want it on the edit. You can see now, and the whole tunnel, everything just follows along, which is quite nice. Oh, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the support here, Strider. Thank you so much. Get a cheers for that. Let me just write it up as well. Thank you so much. And you also get the little dance, you rabbit. Thank you so much. All right, so we do have the ceiling and we do have this. So we are slowly going, getting closer is what I wanted to say. Let's just zoom in here. But obviously this is just the first step. So what I want to do now, I just want to move the whole ceiling up. And I'm not sure exactly the height of this, but if I remember this right, I think these lights are around 2 meters high. That's what at least my recollection says. Like if this is I think this is even 2 meters already. So these lights are quite high up. So I just want to move the whole ceiling up by maybe 2.5 or something like that. For now, do we want to keep this? Yeah, let's just keep this. And I just create a transform, which is just moving it up. or rotating, whatever you want it to do. And I just want to move it up by 2.5 units. And then we have this here. And we still do, we do still have the road as well. So that we are slowly getting somewhere. And then what I want to do next is I want to move it down, like extrude it down just to meet, connect it with the floor. So this is now a bit tricky as well. So because you don't want to select them essentially, but what you can do, and there must be a better way. Here's our thing is bent now, which is obviously a problem, but you can create a group again. Let's see if we can get this working. And we do want it on edges. And we do want it, I think, let's see, include edges, unshared. So we can do unshared edges, which gives us everything, right? And so what I don't know how to do now is how we only get the bottom pieces. And we need to try a few different things here. Let's see. So this gives us that. Maybe we just try it a few different ways. So min edge length. Let's see, edge length. So the unshared edges gives us actually quite a lot of things already. I just need to figure out how we can not have these things selected, because then we can just extrude it down. And obviously this is a bit tricky. Like we can obviously deselect it at some point. Let's see if there's a different way. So that's something now where I would probably break the proceduralism if I don't figure this out. But for now, let's just keep going. And I think the next step is to work a bit on the road here. So what I want to do, I want to create these, like this little divot here. And again, I do want to have it a bit procedural. So what I want to do here, this whole sweep here is now it's now, yeah, is it 6 meters, right? Yeah, it's 6 meters wide. And I do want to create this little pathway for the pedestrians, and then the road in the middle. And the road, I believe, was 2 meters. So I just create another sweep here, and I just make sure that's 2 meters wide. And this is already in the center, which is great. And then I can create another sweep for the left and the right, which is probably 1 meter wide. So we have this, and then we have the other one here. So if I merge them, I do need to move it to the side, so I can transform this. And again, this will possibly break the proceduralism now, because you would need to adjust this manually. Let's see, what do we need to put in here? 1.5. And then we do want to do this again. We do negative 1.5. And then we can merge all of these things together. And then we have this road, and this is now 2 meters, and then we have 1 meter on each side. So we have 4 meters, and then we probably need to make it a bit wider, because I'm not sure how thick or wide these boxes are. But I guess it's around, like, both combined is maybe a meter. So we could make the center road a bit wider. I'm not sure the width of a vehicle. It's probably more than 2 meters, maybe slightly more. Maybe we just do 3, and then we move everything by 0.5, so everything moves again by 2 units, and then we should be good. So now we have so that's 2 meters, and then we have 5 meters, and then we have 50 on each side. So I think that is quite good. So what I can do now is just do another sweep, essentially like that. And this sweep here is what I said before, is 0.5 units. And if I merge these two as well, we do need to move them over. And I do need to enable autosave. There we go. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to just pop it in the chat. I'm reading the chat is on the right monitor here, so I'm trying to answer the questions as I go. So yeah, let me know how it goes. All right, so now I got to move them over a slight bit. Pen. So we do have them, and I do made them a bit smaller, so I do need to move them over a bit more. So this goes, let's see, what is it? 2.75, yeah, makes sense. And then we do another 1.75. And now I think we do have all the pieces. So essentially now we just extrude them. And what I could have done, I could have just mirrored them over. But this way you can see essentially both ways, which is fine too. All right, and all of these points are based on the point number I specified in the line. So every unit here is 1 meter. You can see if I change the point numbers, we do have different points there, which is great. And we can always do a resample to just make sure that we have the units that we need to. Right, so what I want to do now is do an extrusion. And I'm sure there are always better ways to do things. So again, this is essentially my way of doing it. And again, it does not need to be the correct way, but it's definitely working for me. All right, so if I extrude this up, you can see now we have this. And actually, I do think I do want to use the mirror instead. So I could just do the mirror, and then it's just reflected on the other side. Like that, right? Which is a lot better. Then I don't need to worry about getting the correct offsets and whatnot. All right, so we do have these two things, and I'm not sure if we need this anymore. All right, so we have one, which is essentially the pedestrian walkway. And if you look at this now, we do get this. And the boxes on the right are for the, whatever these boxes are. I actually don't know. Maybe it's piping. I have no clue what's in those boxes. And then we do another extrude here. And this one goes probably up by, so we're not 30 centimeters. Group by height. The thing is, the height is inconsistent, which is a bit tricky. It's not a straight line. I could have, oh, I can just create the group before I do the bend, and then I have the group. Yeah, that makes sense. That's great. I will do that. Thank you for the tip. So let's say the boxes are 1 unit high, maybe 1.5. All right, and then we do mirror it over. There we go. So we are getting somewhere. So thanks for the tip, Eric. So you were saying group by height, and I do want to do this, but I do want to do the grouping before I do the fancy edit here. So that's actually a very good tip. So I can do this. Oh, do I actually can I actually do that? Because this is happening before before the bend. Shit, maybe it's not working. Hey Steven, how's it going? Let's see. No, maybe we need to find a better way. Can we do this by, no, we could essentially just get the first point when it goes up, but then how would I do that? I probably can do this with code, but then I do have the bend. So I'm a bit, yeah, I don't know yet. My PC specs. I do have a pretty powerful CPU. I've got a Xeon Gold 6148 or something like that, which is doing all the main power here. And I do have a 64 gig RAM, which I probably do want to increase at some point. All right, anyways, let's keep going. We do have this. So next up is to create those lights. Do we actually want to do the lights, or do we just want to cheat the system and don't get this group working? Ideally, I would love to, because then we can just extrude it. So what I totally could do, right? Like I could just select the edge loops here, right? And let's just do this for now. It's just it's not a great way, and I think this will break because I probably will need to change the point numbers. But let's just not do this. Like we will do this in this, yeah, let's just do it like that. I think I can do now a poly extrude and just transform it down. Wherever down. Like, why is it doing like this? That's something I always don't understand. It needs to be in global space. There we go. Right now I'm actually on Windows. But typically, well, like if I would be doing Linux work, it would be CentOS 7, just because it is the VFX reference as well, and everything is more or less working with that distro. So why did I break this now? There we go. All right, so we do have the tunnel and we do have the ceiling, and I do want to make this a bit lower, so it's connecting. So 2.5 units. Right, so I will use this as my base mesh, I guess. Group by bounding box will not work, unfortunately, because I do have an arbitrary bend in it. Because the like, I do want to have a procedural, because I do want to probably change the height of the bend at some point, and bounding box will, depending on how deep I want to do the bend, it will conflict a bit, I think. At least that's my thinking. But let's just continue for now. Let's just use this here. This is poly extrude bottom piece. So this anyways will be the beauty mesh, let's say. Let's call it like that. So let's just call this wall instead. Okay, so we do have this. And then we do have the ceiling. So I will work a bit more on this. The transform we do want to keep, the skin we don't. So we can do it like that. And then we hook it up from here. So now we do still have the height, and the rest should still work. The problem though would be if I change, for instance, if I change this, I think this will not work anymore. Yeah, because it does not find those points anymore. So you can see this is already breaking if I change the point numbers up here, which I will. So now, yeah, now this is working again. So that is definitely a problem. And I think we do need to tackle this. Not right now, but we need to fix this at some point. So next up is, let's create these little things here, these boxes. These are actually some kind of like clay pictures or something like that. They do have some weird Martin pictures on it, I don't know. And then we do this ledge here with the lights on it. And we do have those fans. I probably will not do the fans, but I will do these kind of ledges around it. All right, so I will go from that center line. First of all, let's, this was the road. Actually, this is now the road. And then we have this. And I do want to hit Shift S to get these nice curvy lines, which is also great. All right, so let's create those lights. So what I have here, and again, if you guys have any questions about this, like, or if you have a better way, just type it in the chat. I'm happy to read it, and probably I can implement that too if I do grasp the concept, right? Anyways, all right, so the lights. So I do have my main line, which I do want to reuse, and I do want to create a transform to just move it over to either side, right? So I do want to probably have it on the bottom left, and it should be positive 3 units, because the whole thing is 6 meters wide. And then I do want to move it up, and I said it's maybe 2 meters or 2.5 meters high, which brings us back to this, which is pretty good, because you can see the bend starts right above these lines, and below that it's a pretty much straight line. All right, let's do this then. I will resample this. So for now, do I want to extrude the whole thing, or just do I want to copy boxes? I think I'll do the ribbon approach as I did before. So I just create a sweep again, like that. And then we have the sweep, and I do want to make this ribbon. So this is what we get. And sometimes it's a bit weird. So what I do want to make sure is that it is from the x-axis. So it's always pushed into the x plane essentially. And how far how high could this be? Probably, I don't know, 25 centimeters, maybe 30. Yeah, it's probably like 30, more like 30. All right, so it is now 0.2, so we do want to do a 0.3, and we do want to reduce the columns, and this is already pretty good. So we do have quite a few, but I think we need a bit more. I'm guessing we do have now 3 per meter. Let's say if this is a meter. Yeah, it's actually not bad. Let's do a bit more though. So what I want to do, I do want to do I want to do a resample before, and you can see now with the resample we have way more points, and I just increased this number, and then we get a higher subdivision count essentially. And what I want to do then is extrude them. Again, I'm not always sure if this is the most efficient way, because I am still quite new to Houdini, but this, as I said, is working for me, so I'm just doing it. I do need to reverse the sweep. There's like a reverse cross sections, which gives us this, and then I want to extrude this. So now we have this. I probably do want to have individual ones, because I don't want to do some kind of bevels later on. So what I want to do, I don't want to extrude it just yet. I do want to make it a bit smaller by insetting it. And I do want to inset individual pieces, individual elements like that, which gives us like these little blocks. And then I want to make sure that my front is exported into a group. Let's see. I'm kind of late because I'm trying to do it myself, but I got a procedural way for the road and the footpath along the booleans. Okay, booleans, interesting. Yeah, definitely feel free to share that. I hope you are on my Discord. If you're not, let's see, the link should be below in the video description. If you want to join the Discord, if you can, and just send the HIP file, that would be amazing. I would love to have a look. But if it's too late for you, don't worry about it. I'll figure something out then. Right, we do have the extruded front, so I then do want to pick it, and then I want to extrude it. So now we get this, right? We have these individual pieces. And is it the same? It's probably a bit different than what the reference shows. But I think we can just live with that. I think it's not too bad. And we do we don't care about the back side right now. And at some point we do want to create a bevel. We can do it maybe now as well. Bevel this, increase the distance. You see it's a bit slow because we are doing quite a few pieces here. And you can see now it's a fully procedural way to create this, which is amazing. And everything relies on our mainline curve. So if I move the curve, everything will follow with that curve, which is quite cool. All right, so we do have these boxes, right? And now I do want to mirror, like I will mirror this over in a bit. But now let's create those light bulbs. And they are a bit thicker, so we need a different resample for this. Right now we're on 0.6. We probably want to go on 0.4 to create bigger lights. Sorry, we do want to increase that by 0.8, maybe 1 meter. So now we have larger pieces. What I want to do now is I want to use a blast, and I want to delete every other or every second point. And you can do that by going to primitives, and right now this is just removing everything. And I want to do an asterisk here, which means select everything, but then I want to select with this colon and then a number, which will select me every third object essentially. And then I can invert my selection, and then I only get these pieces. And they go all the way down here. And you can see we need way more spacing in between here. So let's play with the sampling. Oh, we do want it like that, but we want to play with this 3 here, maybe do 5. So now every 5th one is retained. And let's just see how many little smaller ones we do have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's go a little bit. Let's go 6 in here, like that. And now we should have enough pieces here. We can make the sweep a bit wider, just a little bit, like that. And this should be one of the light bulbs. And now we do want to extrude this. Like that, and I do want to inset it to make it a bit smaller, roughly like that. And we can apply the same bevel. We can also create this poly frame, which I do want to do. Keep saying that. to do. By just first creating a poly wire, which will create me a wire around this. And then I can reduce the wire radius, and I have this, a little grid around it. And then do want to retain this as well. Sorry, I do want, let's see, this. All right, so now we have this little box around the glass, or the whatever, the light bulb. And then if I merge these guys, we do have now a light bulb, and they go all the way down. And then I do want to create the mirror. So it's on the opposite side, and let's just create a new group. Lights, and we just merge it in here. All right, and I think it's also time to create a camera. So let me select those points or edges and zoom in here. Feels way more narrow than what I have. Oh, I think maybe the road is too wide. Anyway, so now let's control click camera, which will create us a camera, which is great. And then we can place it, we can change focal length. I think we should change it a bit. Right now it's on 50. We do probably want to go on 35 to create a bit more wide angle look. And then let's check transform. We do want to go right in the center, possibly with no rotations. Just this one is, I guess, negative 180. So this is now dead on center. We are 1.7 units high, so it's essentially eyesight. Can probably go a bit higher, maybe 0.9. Oh, let's go 1.85. And the translation, what is this doing? Okay, that's just forward translation. So this is now a really straight on camera. And I think we just want to keep it for like that for now. It just helps us visualize a few things. All right, so I think next up would be working on that little ceiling. But first, so much talking, I need some water. Oh, I think we don't have that mesh in here yet. Do we? No, this wall thing. Okay, let's hook that up as well. All right, so now we have this tunnel. I think it feels way more narrow than what I have. This will be in Arnold. Arnold. Okay, so let's keep working on the ceiling. So now let's create these tiles. And let's see. So the idea is to use these little half circle hoops, and I want to create some lines around them. And on these lines, I will scatter these little small tiles using instances, and then I will offset them a bit to get this staggered look. And my goal is to use these lines and then scatter onto points, and then just see how it goes, I guess. We'll see what the plan is. All right, let's go back to this camera and then pull out, let's see, where are we? The circle. Do we want to go from the circle or from this copy to points? Let's go from the circle here and just work on the left. Or maybe I'm not sure if you do want to work with this, because we will need to resample this to create more points. What I honestly think, because I don't know right now how to do this grouping procedurally, because my curve is bent. Yeah, I do want to just essentially replicate this whole thing. It's not the best, that's definitely not the best way, but for now this is what we will do. So let's see. All right, we go from the main line, I resample this, and I copy the same object onto those lines. So now we are independent from this wall mesh, and I can create as many points as I want to get a nice smooth round ceiling. And I can also increase as many points as I want. It's very trippy to create the desired spacing of the tiles. So I'm thinking a tile, these kind of tiles are maybe, what do we have, like 8 centimeters by probably 12 or something, or maybe 15. So let me create a single box and use those units. Vic says hi. Hello, Vic. How's it going? Jan Dupont is in the building. Jan is actually the one, the CG Soup from my most recent live stream, which you can check out on my videos. And I'm glad, Jan, you're watching. Thank you so much. All right. So now we do have this little cube. And as I said, we can try 8 units. Let's just hit enter to have this interactive thing. Oops, I don't want to rotate. I do want to do this. Okay, that's the side, and then we just move it down. So we are 2 centimeters in width, which is accurate, I guess. What is 0.5? So this is half a meter. That's way too large. Let's see, 0.2. Man, I'm so bad. Let's go 15. And then we change this to 0.0. What is it? 0.03, 30 centimeters. Son, I'm not your son. Hey Leo, there's totally no difference at all. Like, it's just I want to learn Houdini, and that's why I'm doing everything in Houdini, just to get better. You can do this in any other software as you want, and this is for me because I'm working on that Houly challenge, Houly challenge, which is underground, and I'm just trying to recreate some kind of tiles right now, and I'm trying to recreate this whole scene here. And I'm sure you can do this way faster or easier in a different application, but I'm very new to modeling or like doing procedural stuff in Houdini, so yeah, this is why I'm doing it here. Okay, so we do have the circle, and let's say I do create another copy to points. And I copy, make sure that this time you have pack an instance on. And I do want to copy this tile to all these things. So if I look through the camera, we can see now that we do have, let's remove points, these tiles copied all over. Like that. And now comes the fun part. Now we do need to align them somehow. And one problem I have or had is that the normals, so we need to figure out how to get them angled properly. So right now we don't have any normals on this. What I want to do is create an attribute wrangle, which is essentially a little node you create, which is essentially a code snippet which runs on all the points essentially. So if I drop this in here, I can just give it a quick name. Let's say create n, which is standing for normal. What I can do now, it loops over every point in that half circle, and I can just say my vector normal is the current point position minus the origin, and the origin is in the center. So what I'm doing now, I'm creating vectors from each point which has like XYZ coordinate, and I'm subtracting the origin from it, which then gives me a vector which points in the center. So origin vector is 0, 0, 0. And hopefully, if I visualize it from here, you can see now we do have created those normals. And if I want to flip them, I think I just need to invert P, and then you can see now everything is pointing downwards. And I need this vector to, I think, to align the boxes properly. So let's see how that goes. Now we do copy it over, and now every little curve gets these normals. And for testing, let's maybe reduce this. You're loving it, that's great. Yeah, that's super handy to have these code snippets, right? It's very powerful if you grasp the concept of it. Right, so now we copy these over, and you can see now they changed a bit. And yeah, so we need to try to figure this out. So there's an orient along curve, which does help if you get it correctly set up. Well, we can try what I typically do. First of all, I do a axis align. If I look at the box, what the axis align does, it just moves it up. So the bottom is, actually, I'm not sure if we need that, but let's just see. It just aligns this little block a bit better. And I'm not sure exactly if we need to change the orientation on this guy as well. Let's see. If I rotate this by 90. So now that you can see now they're going already in the circle. That's great. So let's try 90. All right. Now we just need to rotate them, I guess, 90. No. Which do we need to do? This one. Get rid of the 90. Yeah, I think that is what we need. So now you can see we have these tiles and they go nicely around the thing. And now it's just a matter of changing our point number. Have a bit less. And then also adjust this here. So now you can see we have lots of individual tiles all over. The only concern I have is that these tiles, I believe, are staggered. Like they are offset, like bricks. Actually, are they? Yeah, no, I think they are. Yeah, I think they are. And this is done a bit differently. So I want to try to get this right. Obviously, we could offset. Would we actually offset them? We could have them off by 1 unit. Is that something we can do easily? So we have this line and we copy them. Copy this to here. So my goal is to create these lines and then I would essentially offset them, but I'm not sure if that is actually a good way of doing it. Let's see. So the idea was to create for each thing a unique number, which is copied over all the other ones. So a unique number, you can call it whatever you want. I just call this ID, and the ID is the current number on the point. Like that. And because we have the same amount of points for all the things, because we do copy them back, each point on each of the half circles has the same number, and based on that same number I can create a line across them. All right, so now everything has that same number. What I can do now is create an add sop. I hope that's correct. And if I now delete everything, we just have the points left over. And now I can go to polygons and combine them or create polygons again. But I want to combine them by an attribute which we just created, which is now ID. And I just want to create ID in here. And now you can see that we have all these lines, right? And my plan was essentially, because now it's essentially copying them in rows instead of in half circles. And then we can hopefully find a way to offset them. But then again, oh, we can, yeah, I think we can do it. I think I just had a brain, not a brain fart. I'm not sure what the other word is. A brain, like a little light bulb. Another cool thing, you can also use carve. I think you can create quite a few cool effects with this. A carve is essentially like, it's getting the vertex numbers, I believe, and then you can delete points based on distance. So for instance, we can have this whole thing grow. If I zoom out a bit, it's a bit more apparent. You can see now we can grow these lines and they're going in bends, and it's pretty cool. But we don't want to do this, but it's cool. All right, so now we do have these lines. So what I want to try next is this group. And I do want to group it by primitive, because this created us primitives, like these lines as a curve as a primitive in Houdini. So right now we have all these things, all these lines selected. What I want to do, oh, I think it's actually the wrong one. That's group by range is what I'm looking for. Yeah. Like that. And then again, I actually don't know if we need that, because I just figured out this new expression with this everything and then skip them. We can try both ways. So I do want to select by pattern, no, sorry, by group range, and I do want to select one of two. Yeah, that's great. So now you can see we have selected them. Every other one is selected, and we can just call this every other, for the lack of a better name. And then we can just use a transform, and hopefully we can just transform them by that group number and translate that MZ. And now we have this offset. That's actually amazing, because this will be giving us the staggered effect, which is perfect. But again, let's try something else, because I always a fan of having less and less nodes. I think what we can do, if I go to primitives and I just select every primitive right now, this will move everything essentially. You can see everything is being moved. But now I could do the colon again, and I can just do 2, which, oh, that's amazing. So now we can get rid of all this. Nice. So this is essentially selecting every second curve. And I'm not sure how much we want to move it, but let's just do it like that. And everything has a point, so we can just do we still need that? I think so. Everything is still pointing in the right way. That's great. So let's just do this. Let's see what we get. Okay, a different orientation. I'm not sure why, but I think it's not a big deal. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Is it because of this? Oh, it's because of this. So the add, is that removing our... No, it's still keeping them. So now comes a few problems. We need to see what we can do, if we can still fix this. Oof. If not, we probably need to do it the other way. Let's just try if we get rid of this. Actually, yeah. Because this does not help, I think, if I change this to 0. I always have a problem with orientations, like orient or rotates or whatever. Let's see if we can get this though. It feels like the normals are not being passed down. Like if I check here, no, they actually are. So what's the deal then? It's essentially the same thing, I guess. Let's try this. Thing is, you can see that it's not, they are not aligned around the curve. And this is just bonkers. Let's see, let's try this here. Target up. Nope. And that doesn't matter. It's supposed to be on the curve normal, which we do have created. Okay, I think this works again. Except the bottom line here, that's weird. But now we can, I think we can just do the, does it need an up vector? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But I think I have it again. Yeah, no, I think I got it. I'm not sure why these are broken though. But anyways, you can see now we have this nice staggered look. We just need to move them apart a tiny bit more. And I think it's resample. All right. Okay. And it's fine, I think, if they are not exactly centered, because I think even here they are not centered. You can see there is some kind of offset. Again, I don't know what's wrong with those bottom points, because they are facing the right way. The same as this one does. Oh, is it because of the move? I don't think so. And then we do have this orient. Do we still need that orient? I think so. Yeah, we do need it. Yeah, I have no clue what the hell, why these guys are not working. But I love the tile, so I think that is great. So what we can do now is just create some minor offsets. You can see that the specs here are, everything is a bit uneven, and I do want to replicate that as well. All right, so first of all, let's check the box, which is like this. And we do want to be very sparse with how much points or detail we add to this. Obviously, we can go in crazy detail, smooth it out, and do really funky things. But I just want to be a bit subtle, or don't go too crazy, because we will be copying this over, let's see how many points, 80,000 points. It's not crazy, but it's something. It's still something. Okay, we do have this. And let's see, let's reduce the number a bit. And I do want to create some bevels. I do want to make them a bit round. Let's see, bevel. Okay. I'm not sure if there's a, like, we don't really need to make this fully procedural. I can just select those edges here. There's a way to select rings. I just don't know what it is. Okay. Probably add one div here. There we go. And then I want to create another edge loop, like another bevel. Like that. And we could group this by angle, but then it will select both sides. So I'm just doing this. And then we have this here. Right, so now essentially we do have a few tiles. And I do want to now subdivide it one time. I said I don't want to go too crazy, but I'm already going way too crazy on this. Why is it doing it so weirdly? Also, I don't need the back side, so I can just select that as well. Just hit delete, get rid of this. Make sure you just select one edge or one face. Okay. What I wanted to do is create some kind of, we can probably do it with textures, but I thought I'd apply a little mountain, which is essentially a texture deformer on it. Which does this. But you need way more points to see something. So I think we try to do that later with oh, did I mess it up here? No. I'm not sure what this weird edge is. Coming from here. Interesting. I'm not sure why we get this messed up normals. But let's just create a normal here to create better normals. No idea why it's so weird. Anyways, let's just keep going. All right, so we do copy this box over, and you can see it's still a bit like it's still very fast. It's weird. Like, I want to fix this. I'm not sure why we get this because of that. Okay, let's just do 2 then, 3. Yeah, it's a bit weird. And I think we can probably add a bit more later. Let's see. Oh, this is supposed to work. Okay. It's maybe a bit acting up because we don't have enough initial subdivisions here. So let's just do that quick here just to add another loop. So we have this and these two. So now we can essentially also do the other thing, but let's just do it quick. So one edge, come on. I need to be a bit faster if I still want to render this whole thing. All right, we do have this, and then we do the same again. Okay. Smoother edge loops. We blast the backside. Let's do this again. And you can spend definitely more time and just delete by like by angle or whatever to get this done properly. Okay, now we have this backside gone. And essentially now we could apply this mountain, but let's just see if we get this still working. All right, now we have these nice little tiles and they all look nice. Obviously a bit too uniform. So we can do an attribute randomize. Now let's see what we can do. We want to randomize orientation. And we do want to make it 4 units. So you can see now all goes pretty crazy. What I want to do though is I want to rotate this inside sphere. I think is a right one. Cone angle. Let's see. This is obviously weird. Let's try normal. Okay. This did not work as expected. This would be trying to randomize them manually. So as I said, I really suck at these orientation things. Let's see. What I normally do, there's like this mops plugin or like someone knows for this. And there is randomize in here. Let's see if we can get this thing to work. I think this will break our normals as well. Randomize orientation. What if we just do nothing? Okay, we don't have anything. And we just go very gentle on this. Seems though it does create them not very uniformly. Like it applies this to every line we have, and it doesn't do it per point. So I'm not sure exactly how to do this either. We could essentially loop over every point. Do we have actually points? We can try. If I do a for each point, I'm not sure if this will do it though. Oh, this goes over 80,000 points now. We could, no, this is not a good idea. All right, what we can try then, we can probably try offsetting them. Let's see if that works. If I do random position. Why did this break? I didn't even move it. It should actually keep the same position. I'm not sure why it's really going that crazy. Okay, we do have a uniform scale. Let's try that then. Okay, so it does not make much sense, but I just want to add some kind of variation to this in the smallest way possible, and then we will apply normal maps to it probably as well. You can see it's doing this per primitive and not per point. But what else? We will be applying normals and just bending them on everything. All right, let's just get rid of this. And these are the tiles. So create a null. Oh yeah, it does support a ton of geometry, and it doesn't matter. Like it's, I think my memory is no, it's Houdini. I think my memory is still quite good. It's nothing too crazy what I'm doing here. And I'm using packed geometry, which means that it's actually using just a single point to scatter all these things. It's not creating how many points do you have? It's not 174 points times 80,000. It's essentially just using those primitives here and scattering it on it. All right, let's see. If I bring this now in our main thing, let's see what we then have. Okay, we do have some offsets. We still need to move it up, and I think we moved it up by 2.5. So let's just copy this and just do this up here. So now everything is moved up. If we look through our cam, let's see, points go away. Right, this is what we have, and right now our main shell essentially is blocking the view. So what I can do, I can just really gently increase the radius, and then we should be good. There we go. Okay, so we can already see it. I think it looks quite nice. We do have everything already scattered. I think our tiles are a bit too large. We probably do want to make them smaller. But I think we're good for now. So now let's focus on creating nicer edges on the bottom part of this whole thing. And by the bottom part, I mean like the road. I think the road, what I created, is a bit too narrow. We just need to push it in. So let's just look from here and move a few things. So what do we have here? That's the center road. Do we actually need this? Yeah, we do. All right, so I guess these guys are the pathways. Yeah. So let's go back to 1.5, and then we do need to move them in, I guess, by 1.75. Okay, I think this is a bit better. And now I want to, this is now extruded. Now I do want to create a bevel here. And the bevel is on this outer edge, so I can select this. Do we actually have bottoms? No, we don't. So I can just create a bevel and just bevel it. And then I can limit this by an angle. So right now this is normal angle of 2. And now this is only affected by the top one here. And again, we don't need to go perfect on this. This is like a curb. I probably just want to soften these edges a tiny bit, and I don't want to go too much either. So let's just make this a bit smaller. Maybe try 2 divisions. Yeah, this could work. This is now our curb. And then I do want to smoothen these edges as well. So you can see it is kind of slanted, and we do have these individual boxes, which I also need to produce still. So let's see, we do have this ribbon. Yeah, we do have this ribbon. And we have this ribbon. All right. So I want to bevel them and just find a way to extrude them inside. Before, I do want to move these points down. And again, we have a similar issue. Like I would now need to select the edges here. Why is this? Are we on the wrong thing? No. I would just double click this to give me that whole edge, which is fine. Let's just do that. And I just want to hit T and just move it down in, if I hit M, I can go in a global space, and I just move it down until I get the edge I want, maybe like that. And then let's see, do we then bevel it now? I don't know. So now, I don't know, I will try now to select these edges here. And we need to somehow bevel them. We can just try to see what the bevel does. It will do this. Is that bad? I don't know. Probably not too bad. First of all, what I want to do after the extrude, I don't want to create this backside. Or is it side? Oh, I can't do that. I was hoping I could just delete this. I could probably just select them, but then again, this is not the really nice procedural way. I can select by bounding box essentially, but anyways, let's just leave it then. Like that, and then we do the bevel, and somehow I need to select these points, and I think I can try to just create all these edges here, these output groups of the bevel, and then I can just hit S and check the groups we created. Offset edges. I'm not sure if that is the best thing. Like, I want to select these edge loops, and I'm not sure if there's a nice and easy way. If anyone knows in the chat how to select these faces in a nice way. Oh, this is actually not a bad way. It's a way, but it's not yet. I just want to select these guys. So maybe we can figure out if we can exclude a few edges here. Okay, so this is obviously doing the opposite of what I want. I'm not sure if there's something like select similar, like you would have in other applications. Select poly, select end, select next. Copy selection as string, interesting. Pattern selection, set pattern, valid pattern. All right, let's see. And now, what else do we have? Pattern, forward, nah. Group them by normal, but then, no, I don't think it would work because it will just select everything, right? I think this pattern selection is not a bad idea. Shift up, it just does not do it. Show volatile user selection. Oh, whoa. Oh, I just want to select them. Come on. Oh, maybe we can figure out a different way to do this. Right now, I'm just creating this from the line on the floor. Then I'm moving it. Then I'm extruding this. We can get the sides as a group. Let's try this. If I do an extrude now, what happens if I select only the side? Okay, yeah, we'll just do this. It's not, again, it's not the best way, but I just want to separate them somehow. And if I need to do it that way, it's fine by me, I guess. And I still think we can do this, right? Yeah, nice. So now we have this still. Okay, what did I do? Deleted the wrong thing. Okay, so now we want to make sure that we store this as a front group, and then we do another extrude. And I do want to extrude it on the front and then just move it forward. Yeah. Is that good? It's not perfect, but it is what it is. Let's see if we look through the camera. I think the main idea is to just get this breakup, but I do think that we need it on the top too, which sucks. So the other idea is we could just create a box and just copy it the same way as we did the tiles, right? Then we just have a single box. We can do whatever we want, and we can have whatever spacing we want and copy this along the curve. Is that a good way? It might be a good way, but I don't like it. Man, is it so hard to just select these freaking edges? Yeah, what the hell? Let's just leave it then for now. Okay, now we should have it over on the other side. There we go. And let's see what we have. We have the nice curb, we have this, and we have the road. I'm not sure if we want to do something on the road. Maybe we want to move it down a little bit. So on the road, we have this. And what else can we do? Add more columns like that. And then I just want to select them. And I just want to move them down. Oh, do I move? Sorry, I probably don't want to move them down. I probably want to extrude them down. I want to make them a bit wider. And then I want to keep the same selection. It's hard to see if they are selected. I think they are. Okay. There we go. Inset them. Okay, just to create a little bit of breakup, I guess. I thought you could give them a nice little shape here, like a profile. Where was that? Anyways, I don't know. No, I think I broke it. Okay. All right, so now we have this. Okay. So we have the next problem would be now to actually instance those lights. And I have no idea how you can have a point and you can create tons of lights on that point. I know you can create mesh lights, which is a way, but it's not a very efficient way. So I'm not 100% sure how we want to do it. I think for now, I will use these boxes as just emission objects, and we'll see how it will look. So I think we can kind of start to get into rendering at least for now. And let's just see what we get. And yeah, let's see. Let's just do out. And again, guys, if you have any questions on the workflows or suggestions, feel free to send them out, and I'm happy to check them out and see if I can implement them. And also, we do have an active Discord channel server, actually, and feel free to join. We have lots of Kim, who are you? And we hit 2,000 members already, so that's a huge milestone. So be sure to check it out. There should be a link in the description below for you guys to join. And also, I do have all these source files I'm creating, like for all these, let's see, sorry. For all the PureRef stuff. Oh, I guess I closed it. Well, for all my Houly challenges, I do upload all the source files on my Patreon, which you can grab as well if you want to check them out. It's also, the link is in the description below as well. All right, so now let's create the shading context. So first of all, what I want to do, go to out, create an Arnold, is it ROP? I think it's called an ROP, render operator. I think it's correct. And first I want to change my CPU. So because I am streaming right now, I do want to make sure that I'm not giving you guys a laggy stream. So I just want to save 20 threads for stream and whatnot. And right now we have 4 AA samples. We go down to 3 and we don't have any, we have 1 single bounce. And first of all, I want to create an Arnold shading network. And I'll just call this base. Go in here, create a surface shader and hook it up. And it has my defaults, which is 18% gray. And then I do want to I think we want mesh lights. I think mesh lights are the way. So how it works, we go into the tunnel, we go into the geo, and we find our lights, which are here. Right now the lights has all these other things in it as well. What I want to do, I want to find the boxes only, these guys, and I do want to create a null in here. And I'll just call this emission or mesh light. I think mesh lights is the better word. And obviously this will, oh, this will not be, I'm not sure how this will work. I'm not sure when the mesh light is being created. Maybe we need to mirror it or give them a selection. The reason for 0.18 is it's essentially a neutral gray. At least that's coming from the photography world. Under neutral environments, a object which is 18% reflective looks like a neutral gray tone. And it's just something VFX picked up as well. It's like 18%. That's why you have these gray balls. They are 18% reflective. Macbeth charts have these 18% reflection amount. So that's all where it comes down to. Right, Arnold light. Arnold, come on. Can't type. Arnold light. And in this light, we do want to go mesh, and we want to pick our objects. Problem already, we don't have the object. So what we need to do is go a bit differently about this. I want to give, will this work? I want to give the mesh lights a group. I hope this will work. And it is a primitive group, and let's just call this mesh lights. I'm just hoping that whatever I do now will be mirrored over the right way. So mesh light, and then we are down here, and now let's see if I do a what do I want to do? Blast. Mesh lights. Delete unselected. Yeah, okay, so the groups get copied over, which is amazing. So now we can do another null. I just call this mesh lights. You can see now it's right in between our network here. What I want to do here, I just create a new object, new geo group, like that, and we just call this mesh lights. Go in here, create an object merge, which is essentially just a reference to a different point in whatever whatever node graph we are in. We can name it in mesh lights or whatever. You can just leave it as a default name, and then you can either pick it from here or go to your outliners, what I call it, and just find the mesh lights, and now you have these objects right there. I'm not sure if this will be a problem that we deleted the back faces, but we will see it in a second. So now we can finally just drop this in here, and now we do have mesh lights for everything. Again, I'm not sure how the backside will behave. We will see this also in a bit. The tunnel right now does not have any shader. So go to Arnold and just drop that base shader to everything. And yeah, let's see if we get a crashing render or if everything will go smooth. I think we want it on, and I'm not sure if we want to see the mesh. Anyways, go to render view, drop cam, Arnold is correct. Let's hit render. Hopefully nothing crashes. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please feel free to do so. You know, the typical YouTuber to ask for subs, but that's the way how it goes. Okay, we don't see anything. So one thing what I want to do, go to the tunnel, and I don't want to, I actually want to remove them from the main object here. So I'm deleting the mesh lights now from this. So they should not show up, I hope. We only have the mesh lights and this. I'm not sure if we need to hide them here too. I'm not sure. We can probably try to change the visibility to have them not show up. But we can also leave them. Anyways, let's hit render again. We should have all the geometry in here. We just need to push our lights, I think. So let's try that. If I go to Arnold and I go maybe to 10, not much changed. Is it? We don't have the other things in here? That's why. I think you can alt click. No, what was it? Anyways, let's try this again. Hit render. Okay, it takes a bit longer. My memory is still good. Let's see what happens. All the polys. There we go. I do want this on. All right. Good thing is everything does render. But it's, well, it's a bit bright. Hey Houly, how's it going? Thanks for joining. And good morning to you too. It's yeah, it's time to wake up. So let's see, we have the shader, the base shader, and if I get it more specky, I'm not even sure if that is assigned. Yeah, there we go. Now we see the specs, and it's similar to what we see here, right? All these specs reflecting. That's a good thing. Obviously, we need to have different shaders for different things, but it's actually pretty close to the reference. It's not bad. Like, I like it. I like how we see the same specs on the top here, and then on the side, and then it's essentially, it's pretty close to the, at least the reflections are. And now we will need to modulate this with noises, and it will still be a bit challenging, at least to make a photoreal thing out of this. Right, so what we need to do is we need now to create shader assignments, and I find it weird that we don't have the sides here. And we need to figure all these things out now. So let's see, go to object, go to tunnel. Where's our wall? Why don't we see the wall? Skin here. Okay, poly extrude did not work anymore. Why? Change the point numbers. Thought I separated this somehow. Okay, let's see. Actually, I do want to hit D. I want, sometimes I like the dark background, but also sometimes I like the lighter one. Okay, I'm not sure. There was some issue with these point numbers. Okay, I think now we do have it. We do have the wall, which is great. We have this and the tunnel in the back. So what I want to do, I actually want to have the tunnel go up in the back so we don't see through it. So that's one thing why the procedural thing is pretty nice. So we can go now all the way to the back, or we can actually go, just to make our lives easier, go all the way up here. And, oh, why do we have two mesh light groups? Oh, did I mess things up? Oh, I think I did. Don't have the bounding box anymore. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. Dip. So this needs to be called dip. Yeah, we got the dip back. Yes. I'm not sure mesh light. I don't think I used it, right? Let's just get rid of this. Hopefully nothing died. Let's just disable it for now. Okay, so we do have the dent, and the thing is though, we are still at the same level, but I hope, well, let's just move it up then. Sorry, let's just create another object here. Let's say dip up. Most tunnels have curves, yeah, but this does not have a curve. This just has like a downward slope. It does not go left or right. At least as I remember it, maybe, but at least as I remember it doesn't. All right, so we do have the dip up, and I do want to move it back to all the way to the back here. Okay. Let's go 420. And then in my edit, I want to use the dip up, and I just want to move it upwards by, let's say, 5 meters up. Everything goes up. That's great. And now I think if we look through the tunnel, I hope, yeah, everything is still working as expected, which is lovely. And yeah, there we go. We don't see the back anymore. I'm not even sure if if we had to do this. Yeah, we did. You could see the light in the back there. So now we just move it up and we don't see this anymore, which is lovely. We can also go left. I think we can very slightly add a curve to it as Oliver wanted. So let's just see and try if we can do this as well. So we have dip up, and we just go curved or curve. And let's see, we do want to zoom out. And I just want to add a slight bend to it, which is nice. It will give us a nice effect, I think. It's not a bad call. Let's go maybe up to 300 meters and create another edit. Hook it up, and this would be curve. And I do want to, let's say I want to move it to one side. And you can see now, I'm not sure if this works. -5. I think the mirror. Yeah. Okay, we will not do the mirror. Because sorry, we will not do the curve because it does mess up our mirror constraints, and I actually don't know why it shouldn't be doing this. Ah, come on, I said Q disable. All right. Well, I think it's still fine. It's not obviously now with a curve. I could figure this out later, but we do want to get the render cooking. So now it's about shader assignments. So what I want to do next is just create these material groups and then assign them. I want to be smart about it because I don't want to do everything twice, right? So let's see what this is. This is the metal pieces, right? Let's hide other things. And what I want to do is create a material like that, drop it in here. And I do want to at least drag this in here for now. So I have a path. What I want to do though, I want to create a Arnold shader, which is the same as my material node name. So I can just type MTL for material, and I'll just call this metal wall. And then instead of base here, I can just type OS, $OS, which means operator. I don't know. And then it extends, it resolves into MTL metal wall. So it's looking for a shader name like this, which we don't have yet, but it's looking for it, which is great. So now we can essentially, this is our curb or sidewalk, MTL sidewalk. This one is road. Oops, no points. Like that, MTL road. 3 shaders. And what else do we have? We do have, so we do have the tiles. We have to use these tiles, and then we have this glass stuff, right? Sorry, around the light bulb, we have this glass. Let's see. I'm not sure again if we do material assignments. I think it should work because it's based on a path. So where do we go? The poly wire is the frame, so we can just create this and drag it in here and call this light frame. And this is, we don't need this, and that is the tiles, whatever they are called. I just call this MTL light tiles, like that. Operator string, yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, it actually makes sense. And then we have ceiling, which does not do anything. Oh. Why not? Did I mess it up? Don't say so. Or is it? It's happening here, right? The tiles. And this is the wall. Huh, I don't know. All right. This is the wall. And then we do have the tiles. I still don't know why we have these weird things, but let's just not deal with this right now. And this would be MTL tiles. So we do, I think we do have shaders now for everything. I think so. All right, so now we obviously need to create those shaders. We do need to make sure we have the correct names as well. So we do have all these materials here. And maybe there's a way to connect them like properly with like a connection, but I couldn't find anything. So what I want to do now is just create a shader, MTL light frame number 1. Cool thing is we can just drag them, alt drag them, and then we do have a duplicated object. And then we want to create tiles. Then we want MTL metal wall, MTL road, sidewalk, tiles. See how boring this is? Lovely. And then last but not least, we do have our wall. Actually, it is least. It's not so interesting. And it's covered up by everything. All right. We have 3, 6, 7. We do have 3, 6, 7. I think we're good. And everything hopefully should be assigned properly as well. And just another quick plug, if you guys want to learn Houdini and get better at effects and explosions on all these funky things, check out this quick trailer. In the meantime, there we go. I'll take a quick break here. All right. Yeah, so if you do want to get better and you want to get like proper professional experience and courses, check out Rebel Way. The links are in the description below. Check them out and maybe you find something for you. They have also free learning stuff, which is really a good quality. So be sure to check all this stuff out. It's really, really good. All right, so we do have shaders. We do have lights, I think. We will see how good these lights are. Yeah, let's keep going. All right, so shading, right? Shading is fun. Sorry, I'm sometimes just talking shit. All right, so let's start off with these boxes here. I think they are a good thing to start. It's a more or less simple material, I think. And yeah, let's just see how this looks. Oh, we don't have these things. Ooh, it doesn't matter, at least not for now. All right, so let's go into the shader of the metal wall. All right, standard surface 1, save, and let's just start the render. Yeah, it's a heavy duty trailer. Yeah, no. What kind of PC do you have? Like, is it like a laptop or is it a proper workstation? I think, yeah, man, I should have stopped. Can I actually still stop it? Yeah, let's just stop it. I don't want to have the tiles in here for now. Wall tiles. Let's just disconnect them. Oh yeah, screen, thank you. Sorry, there you go. I just disconnected. Yeah, I guess you got tired of looking at me. Anyway, so I just disabled the tile connection, so we just have the wall. And now I think the first time to first pixel should be a lot faster because we don't have to scatter all these 1,000 points. There we go. That was a lot faster. All right, so I just want to focus on this little piece here. And maybe I quickly want to change the shaders because I did copy them with this super metallic look. I just want to change the roughness quickly. So go 0.5 on the roughness, and tiles can... The tiles are pretty good actually, like how they were. Sidewalk will go very rough. We will go darker on the... And then we also want to have the road to be very dark, maybe 0.05 or 04, and have this 0.5 in roughness. We're working on the metal. Light tiles are these guys. We just quickly pick a brownish color. I hope it's not too small to see, but I think I'm streaming in 2.5K or something. So you should not have much problems in looking at this, I hope. And then we have the metal frame, which can go darker. So I do have a dual Xeon processor of the Intel Xeon Gold 6148, I believe, which is a very powerful CPU. And I have two of them, so equaling they each have 20 cores. So essentially I have 80 threads in total. So a beast, definitely a beast of a machine. That's why I can work quite good with all of these assets here. All right, we do have our little boxes. So let's go quick to render settings and just give us a bit more to play with. Let's go maybe 5 samples. Let's enable progressive rendering. Is that good enough? Maybe go 4. Yeah, I think we're good. All right. And then let's work on that metal. So obviously it is a metallic object. So what we want to do first is make sure that we change our type to be metalness 1. So this gives us a metallic response. What I do want to do is apply a bump. And this, I will be applying a very broad bump to give us this correct, oops, that was not correct. A very broad bump to give us this bumpiness, right? Like you can see like everything here is very dented and gives us different kind of reflections back. And that's especially new guys in the coming into 3D, they just copy boxes essentially, and everything looks super fake and CG because there's no breakup. And this is one way to create breakup, is to create noises. And you can see these noises are in world space, so they are different for every point in, like for every pixel. So now I can add some distortion. We get these nice bends. And if I apply this, we can probably reduce the Y direction to get more, actually, is it the other way? Yeah, to get more elongated ones. Maybe not too much, but maybe like that. And then let's just see if we plug this into our bump map, and then this, we connect the shader back. And then we open up the shader and plug this vector, just the vector, into normal. You can see now, woof, we get this crazy stuff. But then again, reducing the bump intensity should give us something which looks quite nice. You can see now everything is a bit more dented. It's not perfect. And now we need to play with the material. So we do want it to be very specky, but we also want it to be a bit rougher. Not too much. Let's say 0.15. And we do want anisotropy as well. Kind of like a brushed optic here. And this will look a bit better once we get the color right. Right now we just have white lights. And I think these lights, first of all, we want to change them a bit. They are white essentially. And you can right click on the color go to Kelvin and just pick a Kelvin number. Probably want to go for studio floodlights like that. Oh wow, that's very, very warm. Also, I want to make sure that my space is in P3D60 because that is what my monitor supports and that's what my monitor is set to, which is a wide gamut, and this should give me a bit more range and that's why it got a bit washed out. That way I have a bit more control of the lights essentially. It's too warm for sure. Let's go a bit more in the yellows. And we need to see, this will need some fine tuning at some point. Let's go maybe 12, so it's not too bright. You still see that super strong reflection. And we will break this up even further with the shader at some point. And I think we can do a little bit now just to make it a bit more broken up, a bit more rougher, maybe 0.2, 0.25. I think that's a bit better. Now let's work on the wall. Just make this a bit, yeah, just a bit like cement or something like that. Let's see where the wall is. Wall is here. Let's just pick a yellow color. Like everything will be a bit yellow, but we want to be very careful with it to not go too crazy. Right, so this is now what we have right now. The whole thing looks like this, and I like already these reflections we're getting off here. Okay, I'm not sure why we see this. This must be coming from our object here. What if I do this? We might need to restart the render. I think this is showing the geometry from which the mesh light, yeah, is generated from, which is this. And I think what we can do is just assign an emissive shader. Do we still have a light shader? I don't think we do. So where's my light frame? I can just copy this and just call this light. And in here I just make the shader no spec, no base, and I just make this emissive like that. We do want to pick some kind of yellow. And then on the outside, we want to go to mesh lights. Oh, I have no clue how to do this in Mantra lights. I'm sorry. I'm honestly the biggest noob with Mantra. I have played around with particle lighting with just an emission shader, but not more than that, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I can't help you on that much. All right, so let's assign the MTL lights. Let's just restart. Hey, Oster, how's it going? Look, dev artist is completely too lean. Wait, look, dev artist is completely too lean painting, so for accepts. Sorry, can you rephrase that question? Like, I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to say here. Okay, so we do have this assigned. I think we do want to give this some kind of specular still. I killed this completely. So with some spec, you can see now we get some reflection on it. And maybe, let's try occlusion. If I use occlusion, we should get some nicer shaping around the light. Let's see, we don't have the diffuse. Oh, what did I do here? We want specular on. There we go. Now we see a nice reflection. That's great. That's what I actually wanted to get. We didn't want scattering. There we go. Base, does this work? I don't think so. Oh, slightly. What if I do black? Will do anything? No. All right, what I want to do with the occlusion, I want to plug that into emission. So we have some kind of shaping on it. So let's see, emission base, there we go. And we can first visualize this. Looks like this right now. I probably want to change the distance. You can see now it's slowly creeping in here, the occlusion. And I think that is all I want. Yeah, just to, you can see now it's a bit more interesting. It's not just a constant yellow color. And this is all I want, like just something which kind of looks like it's something more than just a white box, essentially. And then again, we need to boost the intensity up. There we go. That's a bit more what I would expect based off what we get from a light response. Yeah, I think it's not bad. Okay, let's focus on the road here. That's just, it should be fairly simple. The road is essentially pretty dark and it has some kind of pings on it. All right, so let's find it. Sidewalk road, and let's go on the shader. Let's see if I go fully black. Yeah, it does change, so we are on the right thing. And this is our reflection. You can see now it's like a mirror now. It's reflecting the roof, which is it's cool, but it's not what we want today. I want to create a noise, a cell noise, and I do want to switch it over to alligator noise, and I want to plug that into a bump map and drive the surface with that. So let's hook these guys up, go to normal, and now we have this. I still need to increase a few things here, so we probably want to change the scale. Maybe I want to visualize it first. This is what we have. And we do want to add more octaves, it's essentially more detail. So this looks more like a broken up pattern, essentially. And then let's go 30. I think that is okay. Okay, it's way too strong, but yeah, that's totally fine. Okay. It's a very, very specky road, which is okay. You don't see any specks in here, which is also okay. So I just want to have something, right? Just a little bit of a response here. Yeah, okay, that's better. And I know this is still very noisy, and I'm not sure if we will get a clean render out, but I'm hoping, I'm still hopeful. And then we do have this. Let's see, this is the sidewalk, which has a simple roughness. We can try, do we have tile? No, do we have checker? Cloth? I thought there was something, we can use checkerboards. I was hoping, how can we create a box? I was thinking if we can do a pattern which looks like a brick without any fancy things. So your question is, look dev artist is compulsory on painting software. Like, as a look dev artist, well, it depends in what kind of studio you work. Well, the question is, do you need to learn Mari or Substance if you want to become a look dev artist? And I have to say that it depends where you work. In large companies, I say you don't need to learn this stuff because you have a texture department and they provide you with maps you need. And especially for ILM, they do have texture departments, they do have look dev departments. So as a look dev artist, you get the textures, you ingest the textures, you connect them, and you do with that. But in small studios, sometimes even like in large studios, like I think at Sony it's like that, where they only have surfacing artists and they do texture and look dev in one thing, because nowadays you do have proprietary shaders, or you do have, like Mari, you do have like Arnold or RenderMan shaders within Mari, and you can do the look dev on the go while you are in texture land, and then you just export them. So again, it depends where you work. All right, back to the tunnel. How do we create a brick pattern the easy way? We can use different ramps, but then it's not an easy way. For now, let's just create some kind of gravel and just like, let's just hope that is fine. We can try checkerboard, but this is also too obvious because I don't think we can stagger them. And they do need UVs. We don't have UVs. we could create UVs. Do we want to create UVs is the question. Oh no, do we need UVs? Yeah, no, I think we do need UVs. Okay, scrap it. No UVs. We're going the really rogue way here. Let's do maybe some occlusion. I love occlusion because you have like a lot of flexibility. You can do lots of things with occlusion shading. Obviously, it's a bit slow if you boost up the samples too much, but you can get some good stuff with it. All right, you can see it's creeping in on the sides. I want self only, so it will only occlude against itself. I think this is quite cool. So now we can use this. We can use essentially a color correct and use our occlusion as a mask for the color correction. So if I hook this up to mask and drive the surface with this, if I, let's say, apply a color, let's say blue, with the mask now, I can change the gamma, and you can see now we do have a kind of color, like a different color on the top towards the side. So that's something you can do. We do want to have it lighter on the top, like that. And then we do want to change our saturation and make this whole thing darker. Maybe like that. And maybe we can add a tint. Yeah, definitely Houdini is very powerful, and I think more and more companies do adopt Houdini in their pipelines. And I have to agree that Houdini is pretty powerful, and you can see I'm just learning things here, and I'm barely scratching any surface here, and I can get quite good results already. And honestly, through the Houly challenges from side effects, essentially I really got more focused with Houdini. And yeah, this is, oh, can we do this? Oh. Yeah, and so I'm just learning. Essentially, I have Houdini open every day, and I'm learning every day, and I can definitely see my stuff getting better and better. And I think that is a way or a reason why these challenges exist, is to get more customer loyalty. And it definitely have me won over. I already really enjoy the software. It's really great. Okay, so we do have the curb. Let's just reduce the bump. Okay, I think this could work. It could be cracks, or it could be some kind of pattern. All right, so I think we are very close to work on. Yeah, let's just bring in the tiles and see what we get. All right, let's see what we can do here. And for everyone who is just joining, because I can see the stream numbers are going up slightly, I'm working on the Houly challenges from Side Effects Houdini, and I'm working on challenge 25, and the title is Underground, and I'm working on this little tunnel scene. And I started off with a little line, and from there on I just created the whole thing. So this stream will be uploaded for you guys to pick up later, because for me it's now 12:30 a.m. so I will not be long here anymore. I will try to finish off the render, that's for sure, but I just mean, like, when I go to bed and you guys wake up, you probably will see that there's a new video. So actually, talking about that, let's just do something quick. Let's see if we can pull it up. And in the meantime, if you haven't checked it out, I am on Discord, and we do have a ever-growing server, which is nice. It's like a look-dev lighting, mainly a look-dev lighting server, but it slowly grows into like a larger community where we do host challenges. We right now have a very interesting challenge, actually. It's a look-dev challenge where we are recreating a Star Wars environment, which is pretty nice. And we have high quality assets already. The people who are joined are very committed, and we have really good looking stuff, which is very nice. One sec here. I'm not sure why this is not on by default. Okay, here we go. All right, so we do have everything in place, I believe. So let's see what happens if I bring in the tiles. And the tiles will have a big effect on the whole thing because they are like the picture is pretty much filled with those tiles. Hey Jonah, thank you. I got the question. Yeah. I guess you're a bit behind in the stream or something, but he rewrote the question. I wish Mantra could be more responsive in IPR like other engines. We have to wait for Karma instead. Maybe for the next year it will be ready. Yeah, I've been testing Karma and I was not that impressed, honestly. It was good, but it was not. I wasn't really feeling it yet. And I think the heavier you get, like the more heavier assets you have, the slower it will be at some point. So I'm not sure. I do hope they will increase it, like increase the the performance. All right, let's go to tiles. All right, so here we are. We have a very basic shader. Let's go mirror like. Are you on the right shader? Light tiles, not the right shader. 0.2, we want to go in tiles. Still not the right shader? Huh, is that not, did I not assign it? Okay, let's stop this. Stop the madness. Go back to the tunnel. Tiles. MTL tiles. Oh, did I? No. You have this. Is that a problem? Maybe. It wasn't a problem with the other things. Let's try this again. What is the best is always a hard question, but my favorite render engine, like I worked with quite a few, honestly. I worked like in much detail with, oh, now we broke it. In much detail with RenderMan, V-Ray, Mental Ray, and Arnold. I played with Redshift and I played with Octane. So I definitely, I had Maxwell as well, actually. And I think there was another one. I think my, it's so hard to say. Like, I worked with all of them in different times of the industry. So I think at the time when I worked with Mental Ray, it was the best renderer out there. And then I transitioned over to V-Ray, which was great at that time. And I still think V-Ray is a really great render engine. I don't know, I think nowadays they are all very, very, very similar in terms of realism. Like, obviously you have different renders for different applications. Like Redshift is like GPU based, it's faster, it's a bit biased, like, or it's definitely not, you don't get the 100% the same physical result by using that instead of a brute force render engine like Arnold would do it. So it's, I don't know, it's a bit difficult to say. But for me, I guess Arnold is my favorite for now, just because of its simplicity. So that's just fair. I actually don't know if Redshift is used in feature films. Like, I haven't heard about a feature like which went into the theaters, which was done in Redshift. I don't know. I don't think so. why do we get no render? So I'm not sure why we have this ceiling. I think we can just get rid of that. Oh, was I not looking at this properly? So this one has something, which is a wall. This has a shader. Ceiling we don't have. Tiles do have a shader, which is called MTL tiles. Maybe it was just an update issue. Let's just have a look. Yeah, advertising, and I think obviously shorts use it probably as well. And yeah, indie projects definitely use Redshift too. Come on, give us something, please. Still borked. I'm not sure why the shader assignment doesn't work. Because I do assign it. Like I think everything else gets a shader. Except my little tiles. Why is that? No, I agree. Like I think Arn and Renderman both are like what they produce and look is very good. And I think Renderman has way more features. Renderman has bidirectional path tracing, it has caustic support, and it has lots of these fancy settings, which Arnold just doesn't have. But Arnold is a straight brute force engine, and I think you can do some mesh baking in Renderman as well. I'm not sure if they still do it, but they definitely had the option. But yeah, Renderman is used in quite a few productions. We at ILM use it all the time, and it just works. So yeah, why the bigger issue is why don't we get that assignment to work? We copy this. Maybe we just need to do this before because this is on points. Might be. Let's just do it here and see if this gives us something. Oh, there we go. The thing was why it wasn't working. I was assigning a material to a packed geometry which was instanced, and it just couldn't assign after unpacking the material to the object. So I assigned the shader earlier in the node graph before we do the instancing. So now we do have a black ceiling. What I think about Clarice. I honestly, I looked at it, I had it open, I didn't do much in it. I've seen lots of demos about it. I can say that it is being used in production. It's a great software. You can instance stuff like millions of billions or polys or whatever. But I can't give you an honest response to this just because I have no idea exactly how it works. Okay, we do have tiles. Yay. So we do want some kind of yellow cream color, I believe. It might be just tinted because of the light, but I think they are a bit on the orange yellow side. I think this is a bit too much. Let's go a bit in the reds. And then we just desaturated a tiny bit. Okay. That's quite good. And now we do breakups, and we do noises. We do several noises. I think we do like a broad one, and we can visualize it first. Oh, did that break now? Or is it just too small? Just too small. Okay, you can see now we have a tiny breakup here. So the problem I think I'm seeing now is that it is not in world space. There we go. It was not in world space. It was in object space, and I was assigning it to one object, which was instance. So is there any chance Arnold will become real-time render engine like Unreal? And I don't think so. I don't think the core is completely different, so I don't think so, no. They will have GPU, they do already have GPU implementation, but it will not be a 120 frames per second render. So I don't think so. If not Clarice, what about Katana? How is it better in lighting than regular DCCs? Great question. And well, I'm working with Katana again every day, and it has its quirks. Like it does have issues, which the foundry does address. We give lots of feedback. They improve the product. But again, it's a great tool. Like you can manage lots of shots very easy, and that's what it was meant to do, right? It's a shot management thing where you can run several tons of shots easily in one scene without any big issues. You can read, like the thing is, it's very efficient because it does not load up the memory unless you really want to see the mesh, and we sometimes do, but most of the time we do have proxy objects to show everything. So I like Katana. I think it can get an overhaul. It's a bit dated in terms of the UI, and everything is a bit weird, but I still think it's a great software, and I'm still happy to work with it. But it has its quirks. So, but then again, because I'm so biased, or not biased, but because I just worked most of the time at ILM with Katana. I'm not sure how much they work or do with it, because like how much they added proprietary tools and plugins and stuff like that. So that's just something I don't know about. So maybe a standalone or a different pipeline will work better or something like that, right? For me, it's a tool. It works. I'm sometimes swearing about it. Sometimes it's working. Yeah, I think it's definitely it's good that it's there, and it has definitely its benefits. Okay, as you can see now, I'm stacking two different nodes together, two different bumps, and I just want to have like a smaller one, which gives us finer detail. You can see now it's already way more broken up. And I don't want to go too crazy. That's why I do want to reduce the intensity by quite a lot here. Just to give us a larger breakup. You can still see that we have these high frequency tiles. And I'm just trying to get that using these bump nodes just to break it up a bit. Yeah, I think this is quite good. Now we got to work on the shader. I think it's too specky. I think it will be tough to get that look. It's just a bit of a difficult environment, honestly. Let's go spec 0.2. Okay, that breaks things up a bit much. 0.1. And then let's just overall reduce the IOR. Let's cheat it a bit. And I think it's a bit too dark, everything. So let's just increase the value. Okay. Let's just see what we get. I was hoping that we would see more of this repetition on the ground, like of the light. Yeah, well, I think it's just, no, it's maybe it just, my lights are, I think, too bright. Let's go maybe down 2 stops. At least now you can see the nice halo around them. Oh yeah, I think every industry will be affected by AI or artificial intelligence or machine learning, and it does happen already. And I think even VFX will be affected by this, and it's not a bad thing. I keep saying that I think it's good that we have this, just because it will um, improve the life of or at least improve the workflows, and we can adopt it and develop different technologies. And people keep saying, oh, we will be losing our jobs, and obviously if you have that mindset, yes, you will probably lose your job, but then you just got to work with this, right? Work with the system, and like if you really are against it, it will eventually replace your job, and I'm pretty sure about this. Even now in the industry already, we essentially get roto masks from AI. They just do it faster, and they are not perfect, but they are good enough for early roto masking things and stuff like that. And yeah, I just think it will happen at some point, and yeah. All right, so I do want to repeat or get more of these tiles on the side here. So what I will be doing, I'll try to find the curve which is responsible, which is, I guess, this one. No, which one? This is our main line. What do I do with this? I move it just up. Okay. I want to get the line which is in the bottom left corner and just move it up. And I forgot which one it was. I think this one. Yeah. So I'll just copy this over. So now we have this line, and I do want to see the tiles. Okay. So essentially what I want to do, I just want to copy it down like a copy transform. And I just want to move it down a few units. Okay, and then I'll essentially, I need to resample it the same way as this one is resampled. Then we get the same point number. And then I just do the same copy. Oh, sorry, not this one. I think I just copy this one. Okay. So one thing is we don't have the correct orientation. So I think I can just do a transform here and just rotate them by 90 on Y. By negative 90. And then we get this. And then we can play around with our copy to get a better scaling. And now we still need to do the same offset. So after the copy, I can just do a transform. Make sure I am on primitives, and then I want to do everything but every other one. And then I want to move it forwards. And then we have the stagger. Like that. Then we have this. We can offset this until we are happy. And now we have a wall, a new wall of bricks. And then we do a mirror. I think we do it right here. And then we have them on the opposite side. Problem now is that they are, the transform is also mirrored. So maybe we do the mirror after the copy. And then we have that. And then we just merge these two things. And now we have more tiles. And we could now make them smaller, but I think we just leave them as they are. Let's just go down here. And I still want to create these hoops here, these rings. And I think this, oh, we can also create these things here in the road. So let's do 2 more things just to help a bit more with the breakup. So I want to create, let's think, I want this, which is our main line. And then we do copy these things over, right? Yeah. We can actually use the wall. That's not a bad idea, I think. Can we? I'm just trying to find a nice way how we can do this in a good, clean fashion. And I think once, where do we do the skin? Here. So we can use this, right? And then we just select every other point. We can, I'm not sure actually if this will work. We can try to create a group by range and let's see what we get. So it's doing this. I just want the opposite. How can I do that? No, I want to select them in the other direction. I guess this is based on point numbers, right? Or something. Like, I would love to just select these rings essentially. So we need to figure out a better way. I think we just do it a bit different. So we have these half circles here. And I will just use that and let's see. I'll just transform this and then we merge them. Then we have this and then we skin them. Then we have this, then we do a thicken. Oh, pig head. Dang it. Thick it like that. Then we have a thickness to this. We want both directions. So now we have these things. We can make them wider if we want that. So we can just change the transform. And then we do have our line. And I do want to keep it as it is. We just want to copy things to it. So I just create a resample. And I hook it up to our main line. And I do copy transform, copy to points. And I do want to make this packed. Okay. Oh, we could have also done the tunnel like this, which would probably be way faster. Nice point about AI. Yeah, it's how it is, I think. Right, so now we have these rings and we can just create less and less of them. Let's see, and this will be ring, whatever. Yeah, rotoscoping, matte painting, I think will be affected because you can just, at least you can do like a rough sketch and then just pipe that into AI and it will give you 1,000 of different variations. And you can just pick, or mood boards, like stuff like that will, I think, at least it will be a tool to help the people who are responsible for matte painting and whatnot. I'm not saying this will replace them, at least not now, because the creative process is still a bit challenging for AI to apply properly. And based on notes we get, it's not that easy, to be honest. But I think like more repetitive tasks will suffer from this. And yeah, that's just how it will be. All right, so now we have these rings. Every 20 meters, there's one. Let's go every 50 meters, there's one, which is good. They will have a shader assigned to them. We can do a bevel just to get a bit nicer response here. So we do want to enable it. but we do want to exclude certain areas like that. Okay, so now we have nice rings. And what did I say? I do want it to create these lines as well, which is on the road. So let's go to the road. Oh, we don't have a material yet. We probably just apply the same material as the wall tiles. So MTL tiles. Where's light tiles? Here. Hey, thank you so much for the subscription, Frederick Lin. If you're watching, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the stream. All right, shaders assigned. So next up is we go to the road where we are. We find, does it go all the way? No, it's just on the road. It's like a cable bridge, I believe. Let's actually move these things over. And yeah, let me know if this helps, like these kind of streams. Like, and also please let me know in the chat if you guys want to see more stuff like this on YouTube, or if you prefer to be over in Twitch, because I started it on Twitch. It's fun over there. The community is nice, but my main subscribers are actually here on YouTube, so I do want to try to do it on YouTube as well. So if you guys like what I do, I probably will try to do it a bit more often here on YouTube. All right, so let's go back here. We do have the sweep, and we will now do, I think, the same thing. We actually need, yeah, we don't want to mess this up. So let me just create another sweep. We have this, and we don't want any columns. Yeah, that's great. And we can just do a blast. And we again do the same thing, primitives. We can do everything except like every fifth one or something, and then we invert this, and now we have these things. And now we can say, oh, we want every 15th one. I'm more thinking that Houdini and Mari probably will be, at least in the near future. I'm not sure, like Substance, like I'm not sure. It's great, but I'm not sure, like, okay, maybe now. I didn't test the new version yet, but in VFX, definitely for VFX, for gaming, yes, Substance Pro is winning. I think they are winning anyways. But for VFX, we do have assets with 200 UDIMs or more. And this is not, it's very often that you get these crazy UDIM tiles, and it takes a lot of power to be able to create this, and Mari handles that very well. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's there yet. That's all I want to say, I guess. All right, that's bevel. Okay, simple bevel, nothing fancy, and then we just apply the same road material. I don't care much. We just want some kind of differentiation, and that's a cool thing. You just apply the material and you're done. And now let's view from here. Let's see how it looks if I look through our render cam. We do have these bridges now. I think they are a bit high. Let's go back to the extrusion. Maybe just go down 0.05. That's better. We do have these rings. We do have the lights. I don't care about these things. All right, let's just see what we get. I'm not sure if we don't want depth of field for this one. All right, let's see. Arvid is using PureRef. Let me see if I can share a link. If you don't know that by now, I keep saying that in every stream. No, I'm just kidding. You can ask as many times as you want. Oh, I can't shit there. Is that it? No, it's still generating. Oh, pink? We get pink. Oh, because we do it again on the packed stuff, I guess. But I thought I did assign it. Oh, we can't have the same shader name. Boo. That's a problem. That's obviously one problem with this. But we can just merge it before we do this. So we just do this. There we go. Fixed. Anything else? Did we see those rings? I think the rings did not get a shader because we did the same mistake. First of all, light tiles, boo, doesn't work. But we do need to do it before we do the copy. So let's just do rings and just copy this. So we go into shading context, find our light tiles and rename them to rings. All right, let's see. Let's render again. Oh, yes, I am. Not many people know about this. That's why, like, most of you guys, or most of the guys who use PureRef use this window where you have everything in this floating window, and you do have things in here, and tunnel, and I can just add more by dragging them from the website, from the internet, right? So I can just drag them. Oh, not that's funny. I can drag them from here and or not. There we go. And this is like typically how you would use PureRef. Why doesn't it work like that nice? Not sure if why it's not adding them anymore. But I like to use it in overlay mode. There we go. So, and to get this working, I hit Control and Y, which gives me this. So now they are just floating. And if I want to crop them, I can just hold C and I can crop a little region. This is actually how it looked. This is what it is. So I don't have this fancy thing here. But anyways. Yeah. It's not quite there. I think the scale is off. Our tile number is too small. And it's very noisy. So what we can try to do is get more samples in this. And I believe it's... Yeah, so the direct ones are pretty clean. No, it's actually pretty noisy here. So what you can do, obviously, this is always how I do it. I just check my AA samples first, so by disabling every indirect pass like this. So now we only have direct render, and you can see that that this is pretty clean by just having AA samples, which means it's only direct lighting. There's some noise there, but it's not too bad, honestly. This is because of our emission noise, and that comes because our A samples are not high enough. So I can just, we can go 10. Which cleans it up already quite nicely. So now let's just introduce diffuse, 2 samples. What NVIDIA denoiser is, it's like on top of your noisy render, it just denoises it in real time, essentially. I can apply it, we can see, maybe, I hope it will work with the stream, but it should be fine. Let's go maybe like this. I think these are quite good settings. All right, let's just stop the render and enable the denoise. So we go to, where was it? Was it here? Do you know, is it just this? Oh, enable by beauty, okay. And I think we need to have this, maybe just like that, let's see. Why is PureRef irritating for you? Is it now doing it or not? I think this needs to be on. Let's just re-render. I think we just need to restart it again to get the denoiser. You essentially just tick on that box and then display denoised AUVs. I think this should create the beauty AUV, unless I'm missing something in the console, but I don't think so. Yeah, now you can see, I think, that I'm not sure why it's not separating the AUVs though. But I think it is denoising now on the fly. Let's see. There you go. Takes a bit of time. It needs more samples, so this is the first step, and then it will get better, the denoiser. You can see it's very smudgy, but as the samples get cleaner, we will get a better denoise result. And you can see it gets rid of all the noise, but it's very smudgy. Especially here in the distance. It's just one mess. So there's a question, what is the most preferred software? And it's honestly, I can't answer these questions because like different companies have different workflows, different pipelines, and everything is a bit more tailored to their needs. So depending on the company, maybe they have ties to a hardware vendor or something like that, right? Or a software vendor. It's hard to say what is the most preferred one. I can say you that it depends on who you work with, what the current technology allows you to do. So there's lots of factors which which affect this whole thing. I can tell you that probably what you listed is the most used ones, and whatever you want to do is like, for me, I don't care. Like, for me, a software is just a tool which just helps me finish the job, right? Yeah, that's all I think is important, just to think of it as a hardware, like a tool in your toolbox, which just helps you to finish the job essentially. Okay, let's try 10. You can see now, boom, denoised. See, this is what the denoiser does essentially. It just takes a bit and then it just gives you a denoise. It's a faster way to get a result, that's for sure. So boom, yeah. Yeah, I think lots of companies are developing things based on based around AI, and I think unwrapping is one thing already which will get replaced by AI or machine. It's more like machine learning, I guess. And yes, Arnold does struggle with interiors. I can show you though. Well, yeah, it does struggle a bit. I do have a few interior scenes which I think work quite well, and I've found a little nice trick and workflow to make them more efficient and more optimized. Let's see if I can pull it up. If you're on the Discord, you probably have seen it. Which is this. So this is also a fully interior scene, and it's fairly clean. And obviously I did not denoise this, so I really pushed the samples on this guy, and it took like 1 hour, roughly 1 hour. But if I would probably run this denoised, and then we get way faster renders. So this is one light, which is a sun, and it gives me this result. So there are tricks to get this kind of quality for sure. But it's not that you can't achieve it. It's just you need like a few tricks here and there, but I think it's definitely doable. I just want to go a bit lighter on those tiles. Yeah, I think that works a bit better. They're super glossy, actually. I'm way too rough on them. Let's go 0.025. Yeah, I think that's better. What else can we do? I think our street thing here is a bit too rough. Yeah, Ollie, feel free to post it on Discord. I'm happy to have a look and give feedback. And again, if you guys want to get the scene files of this or any other of my patrons, sorry, of any of my other source files or scene files, you can pick them up on Patreon. Oh, thanks so much, Eric. Oh, it's great that you actually learned something from what I was showing. Like, it's always hard to like pass on information because I think like what I'm doing is so basic, but it's always great to pass on more knowledge. So I'm glad you like this. So thanks again for tuning in. Right? I will try to upload something in a bit once I get the run. I probably will run this overnight to get something better looking here. Let's see. I think the floor looks a bit more what I hoped it would look like. It's maybe a bit too specky. No, it's actually not bad. We can try a bit more on the metal here to break that up. A bit rough. I think this works a bit better. Let's just make it a bit darker. Yeah, I think that works better. All right. What else did I want to do? This is brighter. This is brighter. Let's just disable this. I think we still have the progressive rendering. Yeah, it's still progressive. Right, so this is what we got. I think it's okay. It's not, I think one issue why it does not match this is because our tiles we don't have the same scale. I think we are like 3 times too large on the tiles. But I think the rest is quite nice. Like, obviously I did not create any textures and nothing like that. I think the floor looks quite good now. Oh shit, my pen just dropped. But the rest is fully procedural. I think that is quite good. I think the lights work well. Yeah, I think you could totally see what it is, I think I'm just going way too deep. Like, you essentially you don't see the divot here, but anyways, it doesn't matter. I think it looks nicer with that little bend in there. All right, so what we can do now, I just want to go to out and Arnold, and I do want to go to maybe 8 samples. And I'm not sure if I render this, if this will denoise it. We can just do a quick test. Let's do 4. This will probably lag a bit on the stream now if I just run this, but we just see what we get. What is it? 25. All right, so let's just do render to disk. And again, if you guys do want to learn more about Houdini and effects in general, check out what Rebel Way is doing. They have amazing tutorials, amazing courses on effects and all different topics. It's a super high quality, it's production ready stuff, and check it out. The links are in the description below. with all the details, and there's free courses as well. Yeah, I can just recommend them. So right now the render started on the disk, so we gotta wait a bit. In the meantime, what I will do, I will save this image, save frame, and I will save it to 25. And I'll just name this viewport, or like ipr.exr. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, so now it's saved. Oh, the render is actually done. Let's see what we got. So if I go to image context, which is our compositing context, I can create an image network, which is a compositing environment. I'm create a file node and just bring that in. So on a render, we do have Houly 25, and we have 2 now. Oh, it actually does bring the denoised one. All right, that is, I think, quite cool. Which is this. So I rendered this with 4A samples, and it is actually quite clean. So let's actually bring the not denoised in. Oh shit! How did I do this? Oh. So it's actually pretty impressive. So this is the denoised, like the optics denoised one, and then we do have the other one. So this is the render, and then this is the denoiser on top. So it does do quite a good job. Okay, so now let's do what I always do. I use the redshift post effects because I just think they have some nice little things in it, which all doesn't have. And one nice thing is you can apply some glow to it. So I can use bloom. It should pick up these lights. That's already a bit better. Let's go threshold point, maybe 5. And it just gives us this little glow around those lights, which makes the whole thing a bit smoky. And we can try to enable flares, but that might always look a bit cheesy. Yeah, and let's not do flares. Let's streaks is like these little stars around the lights. I probably also, mostly not do that. And then I want to go to photographic exposure and enable that. And this will actually give me like a physical camera to this. So I can try my f-stop numbers just to get the look I want. And then I can do vignetting, which I always do, just to get it a bit more interesting looking, more focused. I think the bloom is way too strong now. Okay, that's a bit better. And then we can play with the black levels in here, so we can crush them a bit just to give more contrast. We can boost saturation a bit. And right now we are watching, viewing this with ACES sRGB. We do want to go in P3D60. So this is actually what I rendered in, which we want to retain. Oh, great, man. Yeah, well, you do gotta have Redshift installed, but it's really cool. That way you can do all these funky things after render, which is quite nice. One cool thing too is if you would write this now to disk, you will not get the ACES transform on it. So what I always do, I create a VOP filter network. And in here, you can do a few operations as well. So this is your image coming in, this is image coming out, and I do want to convert the RGB slots to a vector, so we can do float to vector. And just hook them up, RGB. And then we create another vector to float. Vector to float. and we just hook up the vector and bring it back. So essentially what we did, we took our image, converted that to a vector, and converted it back to a float, right? So this is what we did. Nothing happens now, but we will do something in the middle. And in the middle, we can create open color IO transform. And what I always do, I hook it up. I do have my presets, but on default, these are, what is it actually? Reset. They are set to linear. So what I want to do, I know I render an ASYS-CG, so I want to switch this to ASYS-CG. And I know my output is P3D60. So I want to go to output and I want to go to P3D60. So when I save my image now, it will look exactly as it looks here on the left in my frame buffer. And now if I view it though, it will get double transform because I do have P3 still on. So now I need to go to raw, which will now look correct again. And then you just do a file raw. You just do a raw, I think. A raw comp, and then you pick the frame. You just want to go single frame, and you want to pick Houly 25. And we do want to go to JPEG. And then we make sure that this convert to image formats color space is off, and then you get exactly the one-to-one result. But before we want to do this, I want to go to render settings and sampling. We just double the sampling. Let's go just to 8 and render this to disk. And then hopefully this will not take too long, because it's almost time for the bed. It's very late. But anyways, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them while I'm still around. Yeah. And in the meantime, I'm hoping that the render starts. It takes always a bit of time because it needs to convert all the points into the geometry. It needs to unpack everything and actually render the raw geometry. So the render did start. I think before it was like 2 minutes. I'm expecting a faster render now. A slower render now, but it should not take too long either. And then I will be uploading this to Houly, and then you can see it on the website and see that everything is live. It's not a hoax. Yeah. In the meantime, I can actually show one of my more successful renders from the Houly challenge. All right, let's have PureRef. So I think my most recent one, I'm not sure if everyone has seen it yet, is this one, which is like inspired by Jurassic Park, where John Holland, I think was his name, had this amber stick, and I created that amber thing and placed that test geometry squab in there. So that was quite fun to do, and you can also see the glow effect, which I did the same way I just showed you guys. And then I do have this, which was actually quite successful. Like lots of guys liked it. I was not that impressed, but I think it works nice with the sun especially. Which one is nice too? The bird is, I think, my all-time favorite. Oh, you guys can't see stuff, right? Shit. I should have shared this. I actually was showing everything. So this is the amber piece I was talking about. So this was about John Holland with this amber piece with the squab in it. And then I showed this, which is the sun environment. I think it works quite well. It was just mostly a render. It just created this physical sky, and which just gave me the render. I created these rocks essentially, but yeah. And then the bird, which is this one, which is, yeah, it's really nice. I think it turned out quite well. And the feather system was generated with Vex code only, which was also quite a big of a challenge for me. First time Vex, not first time Vex, but first time creating a feather system. What else? I think the space was okay. I like the slime was quite cool, I think. And yeah, if you guys want, you can get all these files, these HIP files, Houdini files from my Patreon. So you can just sign up there and you can get these files and plus like I think 100 tutorial files as well. There's lots of stuff, lots of good stuff. I can't find that glass. No. No. I think the render's done. I can hear my fans. I was looking for this. It's like a ice cream with some nice chocolate on top. I can feel the render as my fans are dying down, which is a good sign that the render is done. All right, I think it did overwrite it. Hey Houly, how is it going? You're late to the party, man. How can I reload it? Do I just delete it? Okay, that is better. It's in RAW, so don't be worried about that. So let's just, if I hook this up, we should see this now. We obviously need to adjust a few things, and let's just bring in the denoised version. Let's see, denoise. Yeah, that is the denoised version. So if I look at the filter, denoised. Yeah, let's use the not denoised one. It's obviously we are lacking a bit of detail here in the back, but it, well, let's just see. If I adjust the bloom and stuff, maybe we get something nice here. So bloom up to 20, up to 35. I'm not sure. It's not too bad. Yeah, let's actually keep the raw render just because it's retaining all this nice detail up there. And yeah, so let's see if we do have our original one, which is this. It's a bit, yeah, it's a bit, the color's a bit off. Oh, 12 hours sleep, that is great. That's not bad. So we can go in color and we could essentially do a hue. We just use HSV here. And we how live is this? Green? Oh, it is actually pretty fast. I just wanted a slight amount of more red. Like that. So that's a bit closer. And I think it's not so far off. Obviously, we don't have any texture detail, right? But I think for me, this is underground, and I think it's good. It's not perfect, but it's good. So let's bring up the render and see how it looks. I always do compare it if it's actually the same. But yeah, I think it is. Yeah, so this is my submission. Let me just bring this up here. Go to Houly Schmooly 25. Bravo, thank you so much. Again, I'm so far behind. I hope I can yeah, pick up. Like I think I need to finish everything by the 31st. So it's yeah, not too much time. So let's go to research, Houdini, render 25, pick it and say underground tunnel Alp, underground Alp tunnel in northern Germany. Completed this from 0 to finish in my live stream on YouTube. Source files on Patreon. Always do promotion. That's what I learned. Just spam everyone. All right, so tunnel is here. And then I will upload this on Instagram in a bit. All right. So everyone, thank you so much for checking it out. I hope you learned something. I tried to be in a faster pace while I was still learning myself, and it's not 4 a.m. by the way. The timestamp is, I'm not in the right time zone on. Oh, you can't even see it. Anyways, thank you so much. And I had fun. It was actually a pretty smooth stream today, and I hope not too boring at times because I had to wrap my head around a few things. Yeah. So any last questions? If not, leave them in the comments below. And if you haven't done so, I would highly appreciate if you just give me a like on the video just to get a bit more momentum on my videos. And I will be changing the thumbnail a bit later, and I will be uploading everything, the source files and all that stuff, to my Patreon. So if you want to get the files now, they won't be there yet. They will be there in like 20 minutes or something. So if you want to check them out at home and whatever, be sure to wait a bit until I upload them. 3 a.m. So yeah, thanks so much for your support, and yeah, I will see you in the next stream, and I will be doing tutorials very soon again. So thanks everyone, and I will see you in the next video.